Hey Saab people, welcome back to the channel. The first panel that I'm going to be tackling is this door. What I'm going to have to do is fill these with fiberglass after sanding them down, and then Bondo, and then I'm going to have to do lots of sanding to make sure it's flat. But what I've gone ahead and done is pound out these dents as best as I can from the other side. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and start sanding. In the deep holes, I'll probably go 80. Around, I'll do 180 for the whole panel. Went ahead and did both directions. Now I've got some Dawn dish soap and some water. I'll go ahead and get a clean rag. All right. Really annoying rise in the metal right here. It's not going to take much. I'm gonna have to do one more layer, and as I do that, I will go ahead and everywhere I have tape is where there's a bunch of little dings in this door, so I'll do both of those at the same time. I hit it with primer after I finished sanding and adding another layer of Bondo, and I found one spot that needed to be redone. It was just a little bit low. I'm now going ahead and sanding down these spots here, surrounding them with tape so that I don't make my work area any bigger than I really need it to be. Now I'm going ahead and using 220 grit sandpaper over my primer. All right, this door here is done. The trunk is 100% done. It's just sitting on a shelf. I did that over the winter. It's all set. Passenger rear door is strip off all the seam sealer from this edge because I realized it was rusting underneath. Right, now I'm going ahead and I'm scuffing all these doors to get them ready for primer. This is what the doors look like after I'm done scuffing them. Now all I have to do is clean them and then hit them with primer. Went ahead and I sanded down the hood and all the spots with primer. So what I'm gonna have to do is clean this up, go over it again, and I still have to take care of these dings with the glazing putty. So I've just covered the driver's seat with some plastic bags because I'm going to be using Dawn dish soap water with a scrubber. That's funny, as soon as I took that seat off, I found a 12mm snap-on socket that I've been looking for about 3 months. Now we've got this side all clean too. So I have 2 doors taped off. Now that everything is all taped off and clean, I'm gonna go ahead and use a cookie disc and take care of all this rust in all these spots here. This is what I ended up with. I know it's far from perfect, but this is as deep as the cookie disc is going, and I'm using a rust reforming primer, so it's gonna help chemically change this rust into an extra layer there. It's gonna be an enamel. So I just give it a good wet coat with the reformer primer. So I'm now on to the rear bumper. I'm gonna go ahead and wet sand all the scuffs out. I used 220 grit as a wet sand. I think that these are still gonna show through the paint quite a bit. All right, so both the fenders are primed right up, and I purposefully created some runs in a few areas to try and help fill in some of that repair or rust removal, really. I haven't really done the repair yet. All right, I went ahead and used primer. I purposefully created some runs in a bunch of different areas to help hide the areas that definitely needed a bit of body work. I hit it all with the wire brush to cut it up a little bit, but it doesn't look like it got much work done. I don't know. I think my wire brush isn't very effective. So I have now stripped off all the rust that I could see that would come off easily, or with an abrasive cookie disc, or with the wire wheel. So I've gone all the way back up as far as there. My phone died, but basically what I did was I just wiped it down with some acetone and hit the really bad spots that still had some residual rust on them. I hit them with a rust reforming primer, and then I just barely caked this with an epoxy primer sealer. And then the other side, I did the same thing, except I cut it before I started on this fender, because this fender alone, or this rear quarter alone, is going to take me quite a bit of time to get to fixing. It's completely rotted out, and I think I might just have to order another side off eBay. They make repair kits for the sides. I also wet sanded all the runs out of these fenders. There was a bunch of runs. I took some 220 and I scuffed up the area that I primed, short strand fiberglass in all the places that had holes. All right, guys, I finally got a nice clear day to do some work before a thunderstorm hits. So I've gone ahead and laid down my Bondo over the fiberglass that I put down a couple of days ago, and I sanded it all down with 220 first, made sure it was nice and smooth. Now I've got the Bondo on as the top layer, and then I'm gonna sand this down with 220 as well. And while it looks like it's 100 different colors, it's smooth. I could feel this body line all the way down for the most part. I don't care if it disappears up to here, but this all feels good. Same with the fender, all the dents and areas where you could feel it was almost like an orange peel rust sort of deal. Can't feel it anymore. I've now finished the taping off on the entire car for where I care about. Why did I leave the whole windshield exposed? Literally the first thing I'm going to do as soon as this whole car is painted is go get a new windshield. And I'm scratching up the whole car to make sure that there is perfectly good paint adhesion everywhere. All right, here it is. Barely reflective at all anymore. All scuffed all the way around. Last look before paint. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. I know it was a bit longer than expected, but I had to take hours and hours of footage and cut it down. So the next video is going to be the paint work, which is super short, but I'm super excited to show you guys everything, including what it looks like after it's done being cured. That'll be coming up in a couple of days. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.